Find out what happens when you try to recreate Captain America as I hereby summon all my imps to join me on my adventures through Marvel Snap. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. So the new card we got this week was U.S. Agent. U.S. Agent grew up idolizing his older brother Mike, who died in the war. He wanted to live up to this memory, so he enlisted in the military, but he only served during peacetime, and thus never became a hero. After he received an honorable discharge from the government, they made him the successor to Steve Rogers as the new Captain America. He was given a recreated super soldier serum to ingest. U.S. Agent, having been a career soldier all his life, modeled his work after Captain America, but by his own admission, he only took the role of Captain America to better serve and represent the United States of America. Sadly, once he took the super soldier serum, all the things that had been mentally unstable in him were enhanced, and he became increasingly unhinged. U.S. Agent was made to attend meetings with government officials and make speeches, duties that he did not express any interest in. He slowly became more prone to violent outbursts and got enraged with any slight altercation, but when he used multiple strikes from Captain America's shield and stepped on a chest of a criminal to prevent him from escaping, he was stripped of the title of Captain America. U.S. Agent is known for making the most optimal decisions during the heat of battle, but he is also uncertain. Fulfilling the role of Captain America took a toll on him. He always thinks he is doing what is best for the people of the U.S. He is known for violent outbursts, and his ego is shown to be extremely fragile, which in turn makes him prone to rash decisions. U.S. Agent was injected with the Super Soldier Serum and is enhanced to the pinnacle of human evolutionary potential, allowing him enhanced strength, durability, speed, agility, stamina, and reflexes. He also has a regenerative healing factor, and during his time in the United States Army, he received hand-to-hand combat training and is now very skilled in wielding a shield in battle. He can ricochet a shield in a way that it returns to his grip. He has shown himself to be a capable engineer and welder, as he has forged his own shield to replace the one he lost, although it does not hold up nearly to the original in battle. U.S. Agent is an unhinged, rejected, former replacement for Captain America, obsessed with being a hero. This is represented in Marvel Snap by him taking down anyone who has too much strength, even if it is someone on his own team. In Marvel Snap, he is a 2 cost 3 power with the description of ongoing 4s, 5s, and 6s that are played in his location have -3 power, whether they are played on your side or the opponent's side. Now, unfortunately, Captain America is not the greatest, and U.S. Agent isn't too much better. And this card has been ridiculed and downgraded and mocked before it ever came out. And while it's not a 5-star card, and I don't think a grand card that'll see any type of meta in the future, I also don't think it's the trash card that a lot of people have made it out to be, which is why it's getting more than a 1-star rating in my opinion. I'm making it a 2-star rating. So let's talk a little bit about U.S. Agent, why he's so not good, why he's might be better than a lot of people are giving him credit for. So let's start off with the basically simple thing. He's a 2-3, which basically is the same stats as Shocker. Although I don't think that represents what Shocker can be or what Shocker is, because that's just a vanilla stat line. Most people are trying to use him as a comparison to Mad Thing, which is fair, because they basically do the same thing. But I don't think it's close to being Mad Thing. I think the card that you have to sit there and be closer to is Negasonic Teenage Warrior, which doesn't make sense when you think about it, but makes a lot of sense when you go further into it. Because the number of times that I have played this card and nobody has been willing to play into the lane that you put this in because they're too afraid of losing one card has won me a game or two. I think that's how you play the US Agent. You put it into a lane early game, and your opponent might be too afraid to put something into there that's big, that loses 3 power, so it almost can contest the lane on its own. There's other ways that you can use this, which is like putting Goose in a different lane than US Agent, so that you have to play some cards into that lane. You can even follow that up by putting a Storm in another lane and really kind of doing this lockdown thing. The saddest part is, in comparison to the actual Captain America, US Agent is actually better than Captain America. If Captain America had this ability, but reverse, this would be an awesome ability for Captain America. Imagine Captain America being a 3-3 that gave your 4s, 5s, and 6s +3. That'd be an awesome ability for Captain America. So it's really weird that US Agent is a better card than Captain America is at this point. The other thing that you always gotta be watchful of and be careful of is Luke Cage. As long as Luke Cage exists, you always gotta be careful about these abilities. If you're going to play US Agent, it makes sense to throw a Luke Cage in your deck. I don't think you can really play it if you're not playing a Luke Cage. I'd like to see if it is possible, just to be kind of like that nasty deck. Maybe use stuff like Green Goblin and Hobgoblin to really make your opponent cry. And that's the thing that's interesting about this card, and why I give it more credit than it should. If you look at the 1s, 2s, and 3s here, you've got some pretty interesting cards that you can fall into 1s, 2s, and 3s. You can start off with a Nebula. You can put a Colossus in there if you're scared. Not that Colossus is the best, but you can use stuff like the US Agent, and then after that you can use some of the smaller stuff in here that's in the 1, 2s, and 3s. Like Hulkbuster. Or even you can go into stuff like Quake. And even the Negasonic Teenage Warrior, which we talked about before. And you can finish off by playing a very low fun deck with how... What are their names? Where are they? Kitty Pryde is right now. And the switch to Angela. You could basically play an Angela Kitty Pryde deck and put the USA Agent on there also, and maybe build up a good hunk of power by just doing that alone, where your opponent's afraid to play on it. Now, there are very few cards, unfortunately, and this is why US Agent takes a big hit down, that are 4s, 5s, and 6s that really care about taking 3 power off of them. The big hit is, of course, Iron Man. But other than Iron Man, there's not a lot. The ones that might get hurt on it might be Shang-Chi, where basically you play this, and if your card gets Shang-Chi'd, they get 0 power off of it. So they destroy your big card that might not be as big, but even if it is still above 10, even with that -3, they play the Shang-Chi and they get 0 power off it. They're just destroying one card, and that might not be worth it. But even when you look at cards like White Queen, which is not a card that sees play in any way, shape, or form, if you were to play White Queen on top of US Agent, or if your opponent, I should say, were to play White Queen on top of US Agent, and make it a 4-3. 4-3, unfortunately, isn't not the worst stat line in the world. If you're looking at 4 costs here, and you're looking at power, a 4-3 basically puts you in the same range as getting a Ghost Rider by itself, or playing an Absorbing Man by itself. So a 4-3 is not the shame in the world, and that's with White Queen coming out. The card that is the most hit by this would be Valkyrie, because Valkyrie would set everything to 3, and then it would get the 3 negative at the end of that, which would make Valkyrie 0 and everything else at 0. I'm not sure who would ever try to play Valkyrie into this lane, but it's kind of an interesting thing to just be on the notice for. Now, normally I don't talk about cards that haven't come out yet, but I think in this particular instance I gotta bring up one card that hasn't come out yet, and that's because this card is coming out before even the end of this month, and that's Valentina. Valentina is the same power as US Agent, has the same cost as US Agent, and has almost the same effect as US Agent, but is 10 times better than US Agent. It gets you a random 6 and reduces its power by 3. The fact that that's considered a good card for that power shows you just how poor US Agent is going to have to struggle, how much it's going to struggle, because 4s, 5s, and 6s, if you look at 4s, 5s, and 6s, there's not that many bad 4s, 5s, and 6s power-wise. Once you get past some of the ones like, okay, Hobgoblin you're not going to do anyways. That's kind of a card you can play against your opponent. Mr. Negative, you don't care, it's done its job. Who plays Kang? Nobody. Taskmaster is not going to be 0 anyways. It's going to grab some of your bigger card. Artem Zola is going to do his job. I played Artem Zola into negative zones before. I don't care. He's doing his job by destroying the other 2 cards. No, doesn't matter. His power is just whatever, regardless of how much ongoing there is. So those are some of the bigger cards. And then it just gets worse and worse from this point. From cards that you would care about. For the other cards this particular week, there's not that much good in the shop. Okay, we're having a little bug issue here. Hang on. Hang on 1 second. I might have to just restart Snap. None of the rest of the cards came up. Alright, let me restart Snap. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. That was weird. I'd never seen that bug before. Okay, the bug is continuing to go this week. Awesome. That is just interesting to have that bug. Okay, fortunately, I do know what the other 2 cards this week are. First up is Jeff. Jeff is sadly the best card that ever a 2-3 drop will ever exist, has ever existed. And if you were to get Jeff, if you don't have Jeff, this is the best week to get Jeff, but that's the only card in here that's worth going for. And I'm not sure if you need Jeff, if it's not just better to use tokens to get Jeff at this particular point. The other card in this particular week, so weird that the caches aren't even there. Who else is in this week? I think it is... Mirage. That's who it is in this week. So the other card in this week is Mirage. Mirage is a card that basically sees play in only one real deck, and that's the Loki deck. The Loki deck doesn't even sometimes use this card. If you're thinking about stuff for 2 for Loki at this point, you're almost better off just throwing a cable in there. I'd like to open up one of my boxes for this week, and I will be opening up one of my boxes for this week. But for some reason, there is an error going on, a bug going on. I'm going to try this one more time, seeing if I can just get this to all unload. So hang on just a second. Let's see if I can get this to refresh. I'm going to try a trick here. So weird that I've never seen that bug before. I'd like to roll for this week. Right, let me try a trick here. Hang on just a second. We do this. Look at my screen for a second. See if this fixes it. This will sometimes fix it. It's so weird. Alright, hang on. I'm gonna do this on my other screen. See if it's just a Steam issue. 1 second. Hang on. Having issues. Ignore me for just a second. I've gotten this bug before. Okay. I'm gonna try something here. This just took me a second. Alright, it seems like there's something wrong with the collector's cache. Nothing is showing up on both Steam and the cell phone is not making it show up either. So, I will open the cache. Whatever I get, I will show you on Friday. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, remember, play for fun.